fans, welcome back everyone, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OST as we have returned with the second half of today's broadcast. We just wrapped up with two qualifying matches. We just wrapped up with Maru versus Classic, as well as Classic versus DRG, and now we have arrived with something a little bit different, with a PvP between herO and Creator. As a reminder, the winner of this series will qualify for GSL. The loser gets knocked down to face off against Gumiho in another qualifying match. Oh boy, so they do have a second and even technically a third chance as well behind this, but you don't want to risk it with those chances. You want to be making it here in first place. You want to be making it out into GSL as quickly as possible to reduce the stress, to just give yourself the easiest road to the event as you can. But here we go, we are loading into game one on Alkione. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have our blue Protoss player representing Dragon KZ Gaming, the best Protoss in all of South Korea, arguably the best Protoss in the world. I think I may actually be comfortable saying that. The best Protoss in the world. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player from South Korea representing Club NV. It is Creator. After Masters Coliseum 7, after IM Katowice, after this past 2 months of StarCraft, maybe 3 months of StarCraft, I think nowadays I'm comfortable saying that herO is the best Protoss player in the world. Up until then, I would always have the caveat of max packs, but again, in recent months, I do think that herO's form is greater than that of max packs'. Obviously, form does change over time, and players peak at different times, and come the next big events, come the next big, especially online regionals, max packs can definitely spike back up, is definitely possible. But for the time being, I would comfortably say that herO, he is looking on fire right now. I would say that herO has the best PvZ in the world, straight up. His PvP, you could definitely argue that max packs has herO beat in PvP, but even then, herO is one of the few Protoss players out there that does actually make max packs sweat and does bring max packs down. So there's definitely argument to be made. I think I will say, I think I do like max packs' PvT more. I do think that max packs' PvT is better than that of herO's. I think I will go that far. I think in the other matchups I would give the edge to herO, but I think PvT max packs is looking more solid. But I may be a little bit biased. Not from the Cure series. I may just be biased because of how often max packs plays against Clem and how often we see his PvT. I feel like I don't see herO's Protoss versus Terran as often myself. Again, regardless, we're getting into a Protoss versus Protoss matchup, and here we go. herO opening up Stalker Sentry. Meanwhile, Creator opening up aggressively with Double Adept. Double Adept opener out of our red Protoss player. Ooh, going for a Stargate behind this way. Very aggressive build here from Creator. He is delaying his expansion in favor of Adepts on the ground and an Oracle in the sky. All designed to kill workers, to kill probes. Here we go. We're following up with a Double Adept with a third and fourth Adept. From here, we can go for a fifth and sixth. We can just continue to build up more and more Adepts and send everything across the map. herO, can we hold on? Can we defend? Can we minimize our losses as he's going for a Nexus first? 2-gate opener into a Nexus. Economic build here by herO. Adepts, they have arrived. herO does get a couple of shots in. Does chip away at one of those Adepts. At the same time, he does wall off in time. Does throw down that shield battery. And the Adepts are being forced back. Again, good focus fire out of herO, just trying to slow down, trying to focus down that Adept. And can he get it up? Oh, barely will not. The Adepts will shade away. Behind this, we are going to be meeting up. Here, all 4 Adepts going to be moving out across the map. 4 Adepts, they can try to DPS down one of those shield batteries, depending on its low HP or how much HP it has. Oracle coming into support. We are not making a 5th and 6th Adept, so we're not doubling down on aggression, but regardless, Creator is still looking for some damage. He's still looking to pay this off and make this worth his while. As Adepts, they do threaten his shade. No probe in position. Oracle is going to be zoned away, does get a revelation, shield battery finishing up just in time, and herO, he has deflected the army. He hasn't really taken much damage at all. What if they do commit? They focus on one of the sentries, and they're going to get the other as well. Big pickups there by Creator. Gets 2 sentries and even gets a couple of probes. Now, what's important here is that with the death of those sentries, herO is going to have limited scouting. He does confirm the Stargate, yes, but he hasn't seen the follow-up. He doesn't know about the Twilight Council. Meanwhile, 2 Oracles that get into the main base, 5 probes go down. Good damage dealt here by Creator. Again, 2 Oracles, 1 short worker. It doesn't matter if you have a shield battery. Workers will still go down. And remember, he needed to get damage done. Creator, his Nexus was quite late, or far later than that of herO's. So he had to equalize that damage. Had to kill some workers to make up for that. Meanwhile, herO, he does get him with some of that. He does get him with some of Eps. Does shade in. herO getting 2 probe kills. Nothing too major. Does help even things up. As behind this herO, he's working towards Blink. So is Creator. Both players working on their Blink Stalkers. Creator still moving out with his Oracles. Likewise, herO pushing out with his Mass Stalker. And he does have Blink. There is a window. There's a window here with Creator. He doesn't have Blink. herO does. He can out-control Creator. Blink's still in the way. Shield battery working wonders, though. Gonna be able to hold on. Second shield battery in production. Oracles are moving out. Creator, it looks like he was maybe thinking of bringing them back home, but now he's realized that he's safe and sound. He will defend, and herO instead takes a 3rd. Now, even though herO wasn't able to break the natural base, he is able to contain his opponents, and he does delay the 3rd base of Creator. Meanwhile, he's in position. Is in position, does focus on one of the Oracles, gets the 2nd Oracle as well. Big pickoffs. And those Oracles were not worth it. We only killed 6 probes in total. That was in conjunction with those at Eps. So, big loss there for Creator. Behind this, now he's in. Now he has Blink of his own. Catching up with his own 3rd. And as the dust does settle, herO has a slight economic lead. Is going to get a little bit larger here with that faster Nexus. Both players are working on their next step. We have Forges on the way, Robos as well. +1 for potentially Immortal production. The game is going to be settling from here. Game is going to be settling from here. Going to be calming things down, saturating our 3rd bases. It is +1 on the horizon. We should soon be seeing it from herO as well. There we go. And herO going to be the first to take up into Charge. Charge on the way, so herO just focusing on a Swarm Toss style, not going pure Blink Stalker. Meanwhile, Creator, he hasn't deviated yet. Hasn't gone for Charge, hasn't gone for Immortal production. As I say that, there we go, Charge now on the way. He is slightly behind Charge of herO, but only by a couple of seconds. Not the biggest of issues. Not the biggest window. So should be able to get into that. herO, once he's got his 3rd base up and running, immediately does take the 4th. Taking a greater economic lead. Creator behind his opponent by only by a couple of seconds. Only by a couple of seconds there as the 4th base is thrown down. So it does feel like herO is 1 step ahead, or like a slight step ahead that of Creator. Faster +1, faster 4th, faster Immortal production. Speaking of, Creator hasn't invested into Immortals at all. Going for a War Prism and going for a Temple Archives instead. Working towards Archons. The Immortals, they will help in the head-to-head fight between Stalkers, less so against Charge Lots. Less so against those Zealots. Let's hear it. He will have to pull back. Does lose the Observer. Good pick up there by Creator. Leading out a Stalker. Does bleed out a Stalker towards the end there. herO going to be pulling back, reinforcing with more zealots. I don't know if you noticed, but herO, he is down in the overall stalker count. That is true, but that's because not really about the stalkers anymore. It's all about the charge lots, the archons, the immortals. herO with a much more complex army. Creator is still going for his own warp-ins, is lacking those zealots, is lacking the buffer force that he otherwise would have to protect those stalkers. Observer gets sniped. We pounce on top of the army. Creator with a brutal blink. He exposes himself. Stalkers are going down. We bleed out 4 or 5 stalkers. And herO is snowballing out of control. He pounces on the army. Breaks through the zealots. Gets on top of the Archon. Boys are being pulled. They have to be. The overcharge working wonders. Keeping Creator alive. But the overcharge is running out. Again, that was a brutal blink earlier. And we just mow through that mineral line. 10 probes go down. And it looks like herO, he has done it. He has broken through. As everything does fall, a couple of stalkers will escape, but the third base has been broken. And herO is pushing in towards the natural. A little bit distracted by the third. He does pull back. Is going for some secure damage as he just waits for reinforcements. And sometimes all it takes is one bad fight. And herO does get a kill in the third. And instead of going into the natural, we avoid it. We just head towards the fourth. We head for the fourth base instead. And herO respecting the army quite a bit. Again, waiting for another wave. 10 zealots being warped in at a time. herO, he does end up bleeding out some of his units here, but yeah, he has more than enough to break the fourth. Again, that blink earlier was brutal from Creator. He didn't know that the army was waiting for him, didn't know that there was that many zealots lying in wait. That was the beginning of the end. With that, we pounce on top of what little was left here of the army for Creator. Stalkers are going down, GG gets called, and herO will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Nothing too fancy out of herO. I mean, it was interesting to see that herO was the defender in the early game. It was very interesting to see that dynamic as Creator was being hyper aggressive, but it wasn't worth it. Remember, winding it back, the Stargate opener for Creator didn't really achieve too much. He forced a shield battery. True, he killed 6 probes. That's not worth the Stargate and 2 oracles, as he did end up losing all of them. Did fall behind when it came to blink. As a result, he was contained to 2 bases. That's why herO was able to take a faster third base, because of his blink timing. Able to establish that faster third, and able to get into a slightly better economy, which led into a slightly better army, a larger army towards the end of the game. Of course, it didn't help that Creator was kind of baited into that blink. Baited into the army as well. And now we're getting into game 2. Game número 2. Never thought we would see GSL 2024. No faith, papi. What do you mean? As long as GSL has support on Patreon, they're going to keep going. I do believe that. I do believe that at least. And here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our blue Protoss player. Our South Korean Protoss representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Club NV. It is Creator. He has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. Again, it was a rough start to game number 1, but now we get a fresh start here in game 2, and we are going for gate expand setups. Oh boy. Now, Site Delta is one of the few maps, one of 2 maps in the map pool that has a ramp leading into the natural. It is Site Delta and Radisson Station. As a result, gate expands are very common on this map. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to be an economic opener. It looks to be the case, but Creator is going double gas. Double gas opener out of Creator, single gas opener out of herO. herO is looking for a faster expansion. Creator is going to be going for a Stargate first. Or should be setting up for a faster tech, faster Stargate. Second gas now being taken. is going to be a little bit later here for herO. Going for the Cyber Core. We'll see it. Can we get these expansions up and running? Or will we deviate? Zealots are on the way. Now, if herO also opens up Stargate, then we may end up in a place that not many people enjoy. If both players open Stargate before Nexus, we may be entering Phoenix versus Phoenix. Phoenix Wars could be upon us. Again, Creator, he does have the gas lead. Once the Cyber Core is done, we can afford that Stargate. Zealot has arrived. We're going to be zoning that probe away. There's the Stargate for herO. There's the Stargate for Creator. We have scouted each other, which means this is most likely going to turn into Phoenix Wars. Oh boy. We love it, right? It's beautiful. Unfortunately, Phoenix Wars isn't the most dynamic of army compositions when they face off against each other. The reason for this in this mirror matchup, if you end up losing a Phoenix ahead of time, then things very quickly snowball out of your control, and it's so difficult to recover. Likewise, there's very limited micro potential with the Phoenixes, so it isn't as again, as dynamic. That's probably the best way to put it. But we'll see. We'll see if we do commit. There it is. Phoenixes are on the way for herO. Phoenixes on the way for Creator. The Phoenix Wars, they have begun. Now at this point, we're locked in. At this point, if you at any point stop making Phoenixes, you will most likely die. That's the problem here in this kind of position, is that our players have to make Phoenixes. If they ever stop, they lose. Like, we're locked in, Vappy. There's one thing to do right now, one thing only, and that is make Phoenixes. As a Creator does break into the natural. The one Zealot and the one Adept, they actually do break in. Can they get any probe kills? Not quite, not in the natural. Adept is going to be shut down. Likewise, Zealot does slip into the main base, but we do have another lift. And we will pick up the Zealot as well. herO, he was under quite a bit of pressure there, but he will defend. Meanwhile, Creator, he's going for a second Stargate for double Phoenix production. Second Stargate on the way for herO for double Phoenix production as well. Again, as you mentioned, in the PvP matchup, if you stop making Phoenixes, you die. Like, you cannot stop. That is also why you are vulnerable when you throw down a Fleet Beacon, because the Fleet Beacon usually does cut into your Phoenix production. Oh, as they do engage! We're going to be trading 1 for 1. Both Creator and herO leading out of Phoenix. So far, no clear advantage yet. We are still even. Creator has a slightly faster second Stargate, but only slightly by a couple of seconds, not the biggest of deals. herO is going to be threatening the production. Interesting, Creator making a Zealot. I'm not so sure how I feel about that. So it's all about Phoenixes and all about stack defense. This Zealot could have been a shield battery, for example. Shield battery, overcharge, we can have a more defensive position. But I guess, oh, okay, right, that makes sense. We fully walled off, so we have to make the Zealot to break out to expand. That's a brutal position here for Creator. But he does need to kill that pylon, as he is locked in. Meanwhile, Phoenixes are amassing. We are stacking as best we can. We have 6 versus 6. Ooh, herO throwing down an aggressive pylon. Now, the way this works, so because Phoenixes don't shoot down, aggressive shield batteries and aggressive cannons are a thing in PvP. In Phoenix versus Phoenix. Like, you can throw down pylons, you can throw down shield batteries. herO, again, threading a dive, looking for any moment of weakness. More Phoenixes on the way. The pylon is going to be delaying any kind of expansion here towards the bottom left. Meanwhile, herO, he does have eyes on the northern base. Fleet Beacon is on the way for Creator, for Phoenix range. Meanwhile, herO, he's setting up for an expansion. So herO will have a faster third. Creator will have the better Phoenixes. Given time. Here we go, herO, he does push in. He comes out better. He does out-trade Creator, and just like that, herO snowballs out of control, does focus on additional Phoenixes. And Creator, he's down 2 Phoenixes. That was a brutal trade for the Red Protoss. Ay, ay, ay. herO, really good shuffling with the Phoenixes, and just like that, Creator, he's at a pretty big deficit. He does have Phoenix range on the way, but it's still a ways off. Creator, he's now down 3 Phoenixes. Ay. Yeah, and herO, he can take advantage of him. He pushes in, and that's going to be game. As every Phoenix is going to be going down. Shield battery not done. Overcharge not ready. Oof. And GG gets called just like that. One bad fight in this Phoenix versus Phoenix dynamic, and yeah, the series, the game will swing in favor of herO. GG, well played. herO will take the series 2-0, qualifying for GSL. GG. Again, both players were keeping up with each other. They both had the same production, but herO had the better stacking. He had the better first fight, and that was it. that was game then and there. When herO was able to out-trade Creator in that first fight, when he killed 2 Phoenixes and when he took a 2 Phoenix lead, that was game essentially. It is so difficult to make up for a Phoenix deficit in a mirror matchup like this when you have the same production as your opponent, when you have the same units as your opponent. Being one or two Phoenixes down, like that's it. That's game. It's again so difficult to recover from there. GG, well played. It's brutal. It is a brutal matchup and a brutal dynamic, and just like that, herO does qualify. Congratulations to herO for qualifying for the GSL. My condolences to Creator as he is knocked down. Yeah, not an easy part of PvP that you have to embrace. And Creator will have another chance against his next opponent. Up next, we have Creator versus Gumiho. Gumiho, he was lying in wait this entire time. He was waiting for his next opponent, for which Protoss player would face off against him, and Gumiho is a terrifying player. If you're familiar with him, you would know that Gumiho is not standard. He is not a standard player. He comes up with his own builds. He comes up with his own playstyles. He is a very difficult player to read. He is not easy to go up against. So I do not envy Creator as he's up next versus Gumiho. Oh boy.